My name is Angela. I'm sitting alone on the balcony of my new apartment, sipping a glass of wine and watching the city lights twinkle in the distance. It's been 2 months since my divorce was finalized, and for the first time in years, I feel truly free. But it wasn't always like this. I remember the day I was in the hospital, recovering from a car accident. I was alone, waiting for some sign that my husband, Ryan, still cared. But instead, he showed up with another woman, a younger, more beautiful woman named Grace. He told me he wanted a divorce, that he was in love with Grace, and that it would be best for all of us. I was shocked, but I wasn't surprised. I had known for a while that our marriage was in trouble. Ryan had changed over the years, becoming distant and cold. He stopped coming home for dinner, stopped telling me he loved me, and started comparing me to other women. I had tried so hard to make him happy, to be the perfect wife, but it was never enough. But that day in the hospital, something inside me snapped. I reached into the bedside drawer and pulled out the divorce papers I had been hiding for months. I looked Ryan in the eye and told him I was ready. He was shocked, but he signed the papers without hesitation. As I watched him and Grace leave the room, I felt a sense of relief. I knew that the end of my marriage was the beginning of a new chapter in my life. I just didn't know how much had been in store for me. A few days later, I received a call from my mother. She told me that my grandmother had left me a large inheritance, including a forest property in the north and a small house in the city. The total value of the assets was nearly $9 million. I was stunned. I had forgotten all about the inheritance, and I had no idea it was worth so much. Suddenly, I realized that I had the power to take control of my life. I hired a family law attorney named Lily, an old friend from college, and started preparing for the divorce proceedings. I also froze our joint bank account and canceled Ryan's credit card, just in case he tried to take what was rightfully mine. Ryan was furious when he found out about the inheritance. He called me, screaming and shouting, demanding that I give him his share. But I stood my ground. I told him that the inheritance was mine and that he had no right to it. I also reminded him that he had been unfaithful and that he had caused our marriage to fail. Things got even worse when my best friend, Sarah, flew in from out of town to support me. She did a little digging and found out that Grace was a gold digger who had a history of dating wealthy men. She had even faked a pregnancy once to trap a doctor into marrying her. Armed with this information, Lily and I decided to take things a step further. We arranged a meeting with Ryan and Grace at a private restaurant, where we presented them with the evidence of Grace's past. Ryan was shocked and angry, but he knew he had been caught. He signed the divorce papers and agreed to give me everything I asked for. After the divorce was finalized, Ryan lost his job at the real estate firm for using the company's account to pay for his dates with Grace. He was also forced to move back in with his parents, who were furious with him for his behavior. Grace, on the other hand, was kicked out of college and had to work at her family's bakery. As for me, I decided to leave the city and start a new life in a small town called Pinewood. I bought a beautiful 2-story house surrounded by trees and a garden, and I invited Sarah to move in with me. We've been having a great time together, exploring the town, trying new recipes, and taking weekend trips. Looking back on everything that has happened, I realized that losing my marriage was the best thing that ever happened to me. It taught me that I don't need a man to be happy, that I am strong enough to stand on my own 2 feet. It also taught me the importance of self-respect and the value of true friendship. I know that there will be more challenges ahead, but I'm ready for them. I have a newfound sense of confidence and a clear vision of what I want in life. I'm not afraid to be alone because I know that I have myself, and that's all I need.